am so sorry about that. I am back. I apologize. My alarm went off and normally it just silences, but this time it decided it was going to interrupt my whole Facebook Live. So here we go. So thanks for tuning in. Sorry, just bear with me, a stupid technical error. What was I saying? So I went in to my room and I just basically rolled over like I was gonna go to sleep, and I just started crying and shaking uncontrollably, like sobbing uncontrollably. And there's been only a few times that I've been so sad that I actually wished I would die. And I didn't actually, I wished it in my head, but I didn't actually beg. But this time was completely different. And when I started crying, I started crying really quietly, and then it just broke into this uncontrollable sobbing. And my husband heard me, and he went and put his arm around me. And I remember just lying there and being so overcome by the most evil feelings and the most horrible, dark feelings I've ever felt in my entire life, just flooded in my head. And the only thing I can compare it to, and this might sound silly, but for those of y'all who watch Harry Potter, when Voldemort is infiltrating Harry's head and he's just filling him with all of his most horrible memories, his horrible sadness, his times when he felt like he failed the most, all of this darkness just went into my head, and I just couldn't get it out, and I just begged and pleaded that God would stop it. He would just silence the voice in my head. He would just quit whatever was happening. And I didn't know at that point, I didn't know what was happening. And my husband recognized that I was being attacked spiritually, and I was being attacked to the point, and if you're not a Christian, hopefully this doesn't freak you out, but I feel like there's people that aren't Christians that have had this happen to them. And so if you can resonate with me, I'm there right with you. And it was like the room was the darkest it could possibly be. It was just the darkest dark ever. And then after all of that junk came in my head, I begged my husband to leave me. I begged him. I was like, please don't be with me. You shouldn't be with me. You need to just leave me. My stepson, his name, I was like, you are better off without me. Please don't stay with me. I'm too screwed up. I'm sick. I'm just not any good for you, basically. And then after that, the voices that came in my head was every way I could possibly think to kill myself. And if you've ever been suicidal, or if you ever have been in a situation, you know that October is Suicide Awareness Month, and it's not a joke. I've had so many people that I've known near and dear to me that have killed themselves, and I never understood until I went through serious depression myself what it's like to actually beg for death. And I had to stay in that bed, because if I hadn't stayed in that bed, I was thinking of a million different ways I could kill myself, including with the plate that I had gone and shattered, just due to so much anger and frustration. I had just thrown the plate outside, and including with the plate that I had just shattered outside in my driveway. And it was horrible, guys. It was like the worst thing that you can ever imagine. And I didn't think I was going to make it out of it. And my husband recognized, and I told him, I said, I kept crying out. I was like, he wants me, he wants me to kill myself. He wants me dead. And of course, he being the enemy of my soul. And when I said this, basically my husband recognized that I was being spiritually attacked, and he just grabbed me, and he heard me begging to make it stop. And he heard me sobbing and asking to die. And he heard me all of these different things. And I just asked for God to heal me. And I said, please, just make it stop. And I was asking for healing. And he, sorry. And my husband put his hands on me, and he interceded on my behalf, and he asked God to heal me. And the most amazing, miraculous thing happened, because the voices silenced and my sobbing subsided, and it was like this light came into the room, and it was not able, there was no, it wasn't dramatic like you would see on a movie where somebody just turns on a light bulb, but it just, the heaviness feeling started lifting, and I started to just basically feel like I was going to be okay. And my husband just held me, and he just rubbed my head, and he just basically, my husband said that he can't have you, the darkness can't have you. And when you go through an experience like that, it changes you for the rest of your life. And I canceled my live the next day, and I almost had like an emotional hangover, because I was just so upset and so shaken up from the day before. But I had to share it with you, because you have to know that in your darkest moment, whether you're an inch from death, whether you're begging for death, or whether you are just on the road to death, God loves you, and he wants to save you, and the enemy wants to destroy you. And whether that enemy comes in the form of you believing in Satan or not, or whether that enemy comes in the form of something else, it is a known fact that there are forces that are against you in this world, and they don't want you to prosper, and they don't want you to do well. But God loves you, and he wants you to do well, and he just has open arms. And if we'll just run to him and say, I don't know how to do it, I can't do it, please do it for me, we'll take that first step, and he'll catch us. And so I just given this situation, I can't not give him all the praise, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And I know before in my blog I alluded to being really jaded by Christianity, and at a later date I'll talk to you about how I found the real God, and not just the fake version that had been sold all my life, but basically the person that I have that loves me unconditionally. And if my husband hadn't been there, he would have provided a friend, he would have provided somebody. So if you don't have a husband, there's a friend, there's other ways. And the darkness is not stronger than the light. It feels like the darkness is stronger, but it is not stronger. It cannot overcome the light. And so when you find yourself in those inch from death situations where you know you're going to die, or maybe if it's not a physical death, it's you're feeling like you are going to die, just shout his name, just ask for help, and he'll run to you, he'll come to you, he'll always be there. He's always there, even in your darkest moment. He's always there. And I know that the depression and whatnot, and there's different ways and stuff to go about it, but I turned to my faith, because if I didn't have my faith, I wouldn't be here, and it's really helped me a lot. So I hope that you are blessed by this. Hopefully you're not totally freaked out. Again, if you don't believe in God, you're always welcome on my lives, and love you just the same. So anyway, before I start really, really crying, I just wanted to just thank God for you all, and to just bless you for the rest of your holiday season. If you're going through something really, really, really difficult, I'm right there. My husband and I are going through probably our second worst month since October, and I'm praying for you guys, and I love you, and I will talk to you next week. So the shirt that I'm wearing, I'm going to do an Instagram post later today about the shirt that I'm wearing. It was too cold to just have a t-shirt on, even though I turned my heat up just for this live, but I'll do an Instagram post, and I'll shout out to this amazing company, and maybe you guys can get something from there. So, all right, love you guys. I'm praying for you, and I'll talk to you later.